Hello again. In this third video in our series on creating custom modules, I will be explaining how to actually run your PyRosetta script locally on the client's computer. So we need to go back to our modules directory and open another init.py script. This time we will be looking at the file in the job folder right here. This is the file that the daemon that runs PyRosetta jobs locally looks for. Up at the top are all of the imports. You can add whatever you want here. There are already two functions here. This first one is for initializing PyRosetta. You should call this function to initialize Rosetta because this function will automatically go and read all of the parameters files that the user is using. You can use the optional add-on argument to specify extra options to the initialize function. The extra mutes button will accept namespaces to mute in a long space delimited string. Okay, this other function cannot be renamed. The local daemon tries to execute a function called runJob, so you cannot change the name of this function or its list of parameters. You may add any number of extra functions to this file as you see fit, as they will not interfere with the daemon. This parameter protocol code contains the string of your module directory, so that variable would be cobeans for this example. Let's go through the runJob function so I can explain what occurs over the course of this function's execution. First, I initialize Rosetta. These strings right here specify the names of the job input file and job output file. Do not change them. Remember, in the second video when I explained how to generate the controls in the interface, we talked about how to generate this input file. This is where the input file gets read. This code down here reads the information in the example module that comes with InteractiveROSETTA by default. Remember that it was a keyworded tab delimited file, so this code reads that information into some variables. This code here basically just does a simple fixed backbone design on the input PDB file. Replace this code with your PyRosetta code. Do whatever you want to do in Rosetta here. Since this is the client's computer, you do not have access to vanilla Rosetta. Only PyRosetta is available. If you want to run vanilla Rosetta, you need to write code for the server, which we be explained in the next video. There is one nice little feature here. You usually want to keep the user updated on what is happening in PyRosetta. One way to do that is use a progress bar. The template interface that we looked at in the last video is already set up to generate a progress bar. You do not have to do anything to get it to work except write out a file in this runJob function. The file is called progress. It has to have this exact name, so do not change it. There are two lines in the file. The first line is a string. It contains a fraction. The denominator can be any positive integer. The second line is a string that gets displayed in the progress bar dialog box. You need to continually rewrite this progress file when the progress or message change. The interface reads it every second and will catch the updates when this function updates the file. If you do not write out a progress file, then the interface does not display any special dialog while your protocol is running. Here is an example that updates the progress bar showing what the first 10 designed amino acids are. Okay, the last thing you have to do is write an output file that will return data to the interface to be displayed. It has the same format as the input file, but again, since you will be writing the code to parse this file, I guess you can structure it however you want. This last line renames the output file to the name that the interface expects, so the interface does not attempt to read it until the whole file has been written. Just to remind you, if we go back to the init.py script that generates the controls and go all the way back down to the thread_submit function, here is where the output file gets read. So you need to read the output data and display it appropriately in PyMol and your interface. In the next video I will teach you how to write the code to run on the remote Rosetta daemon.